Welcome to another production of Source Selection Soundbites. These productions foster learning, insight, and the ability to perform. Today's topic will cover options and award term extensions. Today we will discuss the definition and purpose of options, the conditions of option exercises, and award term extensions. An option is a contractual clause that gives the government the unilateral right to purchase additional goods or services or extend the contract terms without renegotiating the contract. The purpose of options is to provide the government with flexibility to adjust its needs over time without having to go through a full procurement or be tied to upfront commitments. Options have several important features. First, the government has the unilateral right to exercise an option. That is, the government may exercise the option, but if the government chooses not to do so, the contractor has no recourse. Even if the contractor performed well, it still remains a discretionary exercise of contractual authority. The government cannot be compelled to exercise it. The contractual constraint is that the government must exercise the option in accordance with the applicable clause. Even though exercising an option is the government's unilateral right, there are conditions, among other things, that must be done. The CO must ensure that funds are available for the option. There is an existing need for the services. Determine that exercising an option is the most advantageous method of fulfilling government needs, which considers price, market conditions, and continuity of services, and the contractor performance has been acceptable. That is interpreted by most to mean its performance has received acceptable or higher ratings. In the last slide, we stated that funds had to be available as a condition of exercising an option. There is an exception to that. If the contract has the availability of funds clause, the agency can exercise the option, even though the funds are not currently available. It is well settled that a CO is not required to wait for funds if the clause is present, but it can't be inserted at the time the option is exercised. It must already exist in the contract. A contractor is eligible for an option exercise if their performance is at least satisfactory, but an award term is earned when it has above average to excellent performance. An award term extends the period of performance like an option, but it must be earned. From the time the award term is earned, the contractor becomes contractually entitled to an extension. However, its entitlement is subject to certain contingencies such as lack of funding. Available funding must be a contingency because the agency cannot be forced into an Anti-Deficiency Act violation. The next contingency is elimination of the requirement. If the agency no longer needs the requirement, it can't be forced to continue performance of it. Then, of course, all periods of performance are subject to the government's other unilateral right to terminate contracts for convenience. And lastly, the award terms do not start until after all applicable options are exercised. To wrap things up, let's review what we discussed. We discussed the definition and purpose of options. Second, we discussed the conditions of exercising options. And third, we examined the attributes of an award term extension. Thank you for watching another episode of Source Selection Soundbites. For additional information, check out some of the other videos in this series, other Productivity Partners materials, or our Source Selection Answer app that is available on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. In any event, thanks for watching, and see you next time.